The Odyssey is directed by Christopher Nolan, and it is the movie event of 2026. If it's not one of it is the biggest movie event of the year. I saw it about 10 days ago on opening night, and I wanted to let my thoughts sit with me over time because I really wanted to think about this movie a lot. Because after I watched it, I knew I liked it. I just knew I wasn't in love with it like everyone else is. It's highly praised, and I'm so happy for all the success it has going for it. But I do have some issues with it, and I'm just going to briefly go over my thoughts on this movie. I'm not going to go super in depth. I just want to talk about the things I liked and didn't like. It's not going to be like any traditional movie review I've done before. Just like quick, brief, my thoughts on it. I very much enjoyed this film. I don't hate it. I liked it. I'm just gonna get it out of the way. On Letterboxd, I gave it a 4 star, so that's a B plus in my book. Why isn't it an A minus, an A, or an A plus? Well, I think the pacing is an issue with this film. The first 30 minutes are pretty rough to get through. Um, it's a lot of non-linear storytelling all throughout, and I'm not the biggest fan of that in this film, just because it's a lot of jumping back and forth, and I really only like it when we add context to scenes that we are presented to in the past. Like anytime we go back to the sacking of Troy, there's always new context. We always see a little bit more of it, and I think that's a great, a great way to show the sacking of Troy, especially because we learn new things. We learn um, different perspectives that other characters have on the sacking of Troy. So I like that idea of nonlinear storytelling in terms of the sacking of Troy, but it's when we get to Odysseus' journey going back home, that's when it's kind of an issue for me, mainly because in the present we have Odysseus on the island with Calypso, I think is her name, and he's trying to remember his past journey, how he got there, and then it's also Penelope in Ithaca having to deal with all the suitors and her son, Telemachus, I think. I don't remember all of these names. The Odyssey, everyone knows what the Odyssey is. Everyone read it in high school. It's one of those stories where I liked it in high school, but I didn't like it because I had to read it in high school. But it's a story I appreciate and very much enjoy, and I really want to get back to reading it eventually, but I'm not going to rush to it. My issue, like I said, though, is the pacing and the nonlinear storytelling. And it's just a lot of jumping back and forth. And there are definitely great moments in this film. Like there are 10 out of 10 banger moments. The Cyclops scene is incredible. The island with Cersei is stunning. What they do going on, what they have going on there. Um, and then we have the Hades area. I'm not all too familiar with Greek mythology, so there's an area where they speak to dead characters. I love that sequence. The sacking of Troy is incredible, and especially the final scene. I think it's all stunning. Those are like absolute banger, 10 out of 10 moments in this film. It's just that we have a lot of downtime. We have a lot of just that first the first 30 minutes. I was thinking, oh my god, am I gonna like this? Well, I knew I was gonna like it, but I'm thinking, is the entire film gonna be like this? It was long and seemed kind of dragged out. I didn't have an issue with the dialogue. I was speaking to a buddy of mine who saw it. He saw this film 3 times. He said it's his favorite movie of the year so far. He said the dialogue is an issue of his, though, where, especially on the island of Cersei, it's kind of on the nose, but that's kind of the point of it. I think it's just a matter of pointing things out that were obviously shown. That is the issue that some people have with the dialogue. Not particularly an issue I had with it. Real quick, to all the people who were saying that Nolan is going woke and the movie's gonna go broke because there's Travis Scott, because there's black people, because Elliot Page is in the film. To all the people who thought that the film was gonna bomb, they can go fuck themselves because the film, as of now, is at like about 625 million worldwide, and it's only gonna grow from there. So yeah, the film didn't go woke. It didn't go broke. Go fuck yourselves, everyone. Okay. I thought the cast all did a pretty good job. I thought Elliot Page, for the role that he was in, I thought he did a damn good job. Matt Damon, he's always great. I thought he was great in the film. Robert Pattinson, he's stunning, and of course he's incredible. John Leguizamo, I thought he was particularly really great too. Anytime he's on screen, it's such a different performance from him that I've seen. I very much enjoyed his performance in this film. He plays a blind man who assists Telemachus. Tom Holland, my buddy had an issue with his performance a bit. I think. Actually, I'm gonna take that back. I don't remember what he had to say about Tom Holland. I didn't mind him in the film. I thought he did a good job. Um, but really, I didn't think there was like super extremely incredible roles in the film just because we jump back and forth so much and everyone has so much screen time to them. Um, I like the film though. I like the performances. I think everyone did a really good job though. I just didn't think there was like intense, extremely captivating performances in this film. It was more of the spectacle that drawed me in, and yeah, the film looks stunning. Hoyt Van Hoytema, who's worked on other Nolan films as well as Nope, he's created another spectacular looking film. Um, an issue though is like there are some weird scenes where we're not entirely focused on some characters as much as we should be in terms of like the camera actually focusing on it. I'm sure it's just because these IMAX cameras that had to be built for this film. Maybe it was just so new, but outside of that, it's an incredible looking film. What they were able to capture with the Cyclops, how darkly lit scenes are, especially when we're at night, in the boat, and it's just the waves crashing, and the only light source being shown to us is either from the moon or the lightning striking or thunder, whatever. Just it's a stunning looking film, and yeah, the entire film was shot on 70 millimeter IMAX cameras. The whole film was presented in 70 millimeter IMAX. I was able to see it that way at the Regal LA Live. Some people have issues with the way it's presented there, but as long as the whole image is shown, I don't care. Um, I still think it's a good theater to see 70 millimeter IMAX films at. That's how I saw Project Hail Mary, and yeah, it did the job. I was able to see the whole image that was shot. But if you weren't able to because you don't live near a 70 millimeter IMAX screen, I'm not gonna down you for it because yeah, only few theaters are showing it that way in the states, like somewhere around 30, 40. It's crazy, but still, um, stunning looking film. I think it's the scope, the scale of this film is just incredible and almost inconceivable for how they were able to pull this off. The Cyclops. I want to talk about the Cyclops real quick. I thought the Cyclops was pretty cool. Um, big puppet, mechanical puppet stuff going on there. It might as well have just been a guy in a suit. It looked that damn convincing that it was like an actual living thing that they were interacting with. I thought that was really cool to experience. And as short lived as that sequence is, I very much enjoyed it. It was suspenseful. Um, I wasn't scared by it. People are saying that, oh, Nolan can make his horror film now because of this scene. I wasn't scared, but I could totally see Nolan going into horror after this. I don't know what he would do though. His scope is so huge. I don't know what he would really do in terms of horror. Is his next horror film going to be shot entirely on 70 millimeter IMAX? Who knows? Um, anyways, getting back to some critiques I had with the film. Um, I guess it's just an issue with the Odyssey story in general, and maybe just the way it's presented, but it's kind of repetitive, you know? We get to a place, shit gets fucked up, we gotta leave in a hurry. We get to a place, shit gets fucked up, we gotta leave in a hurry. And sometimes I'm seeing these scenes, I'm thinking, yeah, as cool as it is to see them fight like these gigantic knights, did we really need to see it? Like, what purpose did it really serve to the narrative of the film? Like, yeah, it's incredible seeing these gigantic knights just fucking tear these guys apart. But to the overall narrative, to the overall story, to yeah, these guys are just doomed. What purpose does it really serve? And I felt the same way about them visiting Circe. Yeah, outside of her just saying, yeah, these are who your men really are. Um, what purpose did it really have? I guess she told them where to go afterwards, but other than that, I don't know. They encounter a monster, a god, I don't know, that attacks them while they're on the ocean. It's like this weird rock. is this weird thing that lives in the mountains or something. Yeah, it looked kind of cool, but I don't know what did it really do to the overall story, the overall narrative. Um, like I said, I really don't have a whole lot to say. Outside of like my minor critiques, the film feels really long, and I think it's because that first 30 minutes feels so long and dragged out. And there's so much setup, and yeah, one of my issues is a non-linear storytelling, but I really don't know how you could tell this story in a linear way without it being a little, you know, repetitive or just by the numbers, like the checklist. And I don't know. There was one thing I liked about the nonlinear storytelling, though, that I thought we were gonna do. Like, I thought the beginning scene of Telemachus getting into some beef with some characters, the suitors, Robert Pattinson's character. I thought that was gonna be the scene we see at the very end, but it wasn't. I thought that would have been cool if they did that, but whatever. Um, let's see, what else can I say? The film is just under 2 hours, but it feels longer than three hour and a half hour films that I've seen. It feels so damn long. And that was one of my issues. Like I wasn't bored. I was never bored. Like outside of like the first 30 minutes, I was never not engaged or I was never bored. It's just so long and there's so much it has to set up. Like, yeah, it's a checklist. You have to do all the things in the original story, right? Otherwise, people get pissed off that it wasn't done like that. One of my issues was the way they did the arrowheads at the end. How Odysseus has to prove himself. He shoots the arrow through the axe heads. He doesn't shoot through the axe heads. He shoots it through pairs of axes like this, right? So I don't know why they did that. Why they changed that up. And yeah, I'm not a stickler on, oh, it wasn't exactly like this in the story. So yeah, it's an adaptation. So what? There's there's um there's black people and there's a trans actor in the film. That's not bogging my experience down. I don't give a shit. The people who were complaining about that, I don't give a shit. As long as the film is entertaining, which it was, I'm happy. And as long as those people did a good job with their performances, they did, I'm happy. So I'm not a stickler on, oh, it wasn't like this in the story, in the source material, so it's not good at all. I just have other issues with the film, the pacing, the nonlinear storytelling, not hitting in the ways that I wanted it to. Um, but when they go back to certain scenes, more specifically the sacking of Troy, um, when it's told through us through different characters' perspectives, I think it's done incredibly well. Especially the final time we see the sacking of Troy, we get some added context to Odysseus' character and the grief he carries from the sacking of Troy and how it relates to a character he's communicating with throughout the film. I thought that was excellent. I thought that was like the best part of the film. That was my favorite part of the film for me. Um, because we see his grief throughout the film. We see his grief from losing his crew, of what he did at Troy, the what happened at Troy, and how he carries it with him, especially with the character that he's speaking to throughout the film and what that character actually represents. I thought that was like the most incredible choice the film made. And like that made me like really, 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 really like this film a lot. Outside of just like the presentation, like I'm in love with the presentation of the film. I think the film is just presented immaculately. It's incredible. But yeah, and it has those issues that Nolan films that people have with Nolan films. You can barely hear the dialogue, extremely loud music. Oh, I want to talk about the score real quick from Ludwig Göransson. I love him. He's a great composer. I didn't love the score though. I was talking to my buddy about it. He said it's more so in line with like what Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom do with their music choices, whereas there's always music playing and it's not super memorable, but there's always music playing to fill in the void, to fill in empty space. And yeah, there are a lot of great pieces in the film, um, but for the most part, a lot of it didn't stick with me. There are some like leitmotifs in the film, especially with the stringing of the bow, the siren music, and any piece of music that has to do with the sacking of Troy. All incredible. Yeah, and I'd like to give it a listen to. I'm not rushing to it though. Like I rushed to other film scores before. I didn't rush to this one though, just because a lot of it didn't stick with me. There are great pieces in it, but a lot of it didn't stick with me, and I'm not sure it's gonna. Yeah, it's gonna be nominated for best score, of course. I just don't think it's gonna win. My vote as of now is for Project Hail Mary from Daniel Pemberton. Um, what else can I say? Yeah, not a whole lot to say. I love the presentation of the film. It's incredible. It's a feat of filmmaking in terms of the entire film being shot on 70 millimeter IMAX, being presented entirely like that. I was so happy I got to experience it that way. Um, I'd like to see it again. I don't think people are flocking to the Regal LA Lives. I was able to find actually a really good seat for it on that Thursday, the first night it showed. And I got it like a few days before. I think it's just because it's such a new theater for 70 millimeter IMAX. But anyways, um, just final quick thoughts. Love the presentation of the film. Cast all does a good job. There are few standout performances that are like incredible. Elliot Page did a great job. So everyone who's knocking on the go woke, go broke stuff, go fuck yourselves, because the film is doing incredibly well. Great presentation, great casting, good performances all throughout. Great performances. Um, Great action scenes. There are 10 out of 10 just banger moments throughout the film. There when it's great, when it's incredible, it is breathtaking. And just my few complaints: the pacing, non-linear storytelling, not hitting how I wanted it to. Feeling a little slow, feeling really long, and that's pretty much it. And just I don't mind the dialogue choices sometimes. Yeah, sometimes I guess it did feel a little on the nose, especially in that Cersei scene, especially because we're seeing what they're telling us already. But other than that, I enjoyed the Odyssey. I'd very much like to see it again. I'm not rushing to it. I'll wait for some showings. Probably I'll wait till after I see Spider-Man to watch it again. It's just that runtime. It's so damn long, like really, really long. It feels longer than Oppenheimer. Oppenheimer's just over 3 hours. This film is under 3 hours, and it feels longer. So yeah, final thoughts. Great. Think it's an incredible feat of filmmaking. I enjoyed it. Great action scenes, 10 out of 10 banger scenes all throughout. But the pacing and non-linear storytelling don't hit quite for me all too much. So yeah, B plus. The Odyssey. It's great. I'm happy that everyone's enjoying it. I just wish I loved it more. Maybe on a second watch I will. I'm not sure though. So, what did you think of the Odyssey? Have you seen it? What'd you think about it? Tell me what you thought about it in the comments below. I'll be back with more enjoyable content like this. So, yeah, bye.